It's live? Yeah, it'd probably take a second. It says here that one is scheduled.
I said yes to start streaming.
Oh, okay. It's probably just, um, it says upcoming. Is this it? Yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't hear.
Sorry?
Oh, I can see if I can hear.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is it streaming? Is it streaming? It's not live yet, huh? So how do we bring it live?
How did, I think you scheduled it. Where, go ahead and cancel that. How did, yeah, because this is the part I never did before. Did you want me to grab, oh, hold on. No, the first Christmas. What did you, could you label it something different? Oh, okay, never mind. No, what I'm saying is, let me go ahead and refresh my screen. Communication better. Did you have instructions on how to live stream?
well, that's here.
This one?
And there was another screen which allowed us to do the setup.
Chrome window. OBS. Chrome window, open restream. So go into Chrome window.
This is YouTube.
Yeah.
Should I open that? It's a
Go
Chrome.
to that one, let's see. Click on restream. Restream save R. You will do the same shortcuts. Okay, let's go open the one that you said first.
Which one?
The first one. Where you said YouTube? Did you open that one? Oh no, not. Set up live stream. No. If you got that, click on this.
No, there was one more window open.
Oh, there was?
Yeah. And, how do you, because I haven't seen that before. You know, there
Let me
was,
go ask Jill how she did.
you had one more window open.
She did?
No, I had one more window open this morning. Where would you, the windows which are open? At the bottom? Oh, there we are. So, yeah, no, there's another one right here. There was one more that I had.
It says Chrome window, open restream R. Is there anything that says restream R?
And I know he had one more window open this morning that I know. So maybe if I open this, this one is that. This is here, right?
probably remove that from our page because it's been recording everything. Yeah, go ahead and cancel it. Oh, it is? Okay. Does it automatically? Okay, so if you go to the other screen, it's that black round screen. There you go. It's live? Okay, automatically does it, okay. Okay, we can hear voice. Hello? I'm gonna go outside.
Hello, 1, 2, 3.
Yes, it's working. So we're just gonna leave that there. You're just gonna leave it alone? We're gonna turn this off.
Say what? Is it straight now? Straight?
We are live, so don't do anything naughty on the street.
What?
We are live, so don't do anything naughty there right now. Because we don't want to stop it. It took forever to get there.
I'm enjoying it. We have them here.
Unitarian late arrival. What?
Just for that reason.
Make them randomly placed. And now we're gonna. Well, I went to a service. Well, we went to a service. We went to a service when we were candidating for Steve. They did announcements last night. Because you kind of all in this mood, and then all of a sudden, okay, now we're gonna do the turkey roast. Okay. Good morning. I'm sorry, those of you who came late, I announced the lottery number winner just before you got here, so next week you might come earlier. Good morning. Welcome to Pacific Unitarian Church. My name is Gary Hart, and I will be your worship associate today as we seek to represent progressive religious thought in the South Bay. We welcome people of all creeds, races, sexual orientations, and gender identities. We remember that this church sits on what was Tongva land, and we acknowledge that these indigenous people are still with us. And now your favorite part, announcements. Monday at 1 o'clock will be sandwich making for Community's Child. We need some help, so if anybody could come up and do that, it's great, making peanut butter and ham and cheese sandwiches. The men's group was rescheduled to this upcoming Thursday at 9:30 in the morning. We'll continue our discussion on how to make women happy. So all you women, make sure you send your men. If you're a part of the Thursday noon lunch crowd, that's going to happen this Thursday at noon. Let Steve Schlegel know if you want to order pizza. And really the most important announcement, and we'd like as many people as possible to attend, is the fall financial review after service next Sunday. That's when the board will tell us what the financials are, and we can ask them why are they that way. Now it's time for the chalice lighting. Our words for the chalice lighting come to us today from Lindsay Bates. To face the world's shadows, a chalice of light. To face the world's coldness, a chalice of warmth. To face the world's terror, a chalice of courage. To face the world's turmoil, a chalice of peace. May its glow fill our spirits, our hearts, and our lives.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Chloe Brede, and I'm the interim minister here at Pacific Unitarian Church. And I wasn't here with you all last Sunday, so I want to take a moment and just wish you all a happy new year. So, happy new year, everyone. And before I offer the opening words this morning, I also wanted to acknowledge some of the volunteers who make this community strong. In the December newsletter, you might have noticed that we thanked Penny Trunnell and Eve Edmonds for their work on the Monday Food Ministry. And I don't see either of them here, but I wanted to say their names out loud. And then in the January newsletter, which just went out, we also thanked Leanne Hart and Kiki Wiley, who are both here, for their work on the longest night service and on the winter solstice ritual. So thank you all for all your hard work for this community. And I'm going to open with words from the Reverend Rebecca Grant. Come in from the cold, beloveds. Come into this community of memory and hope, and let us love one another. Outside, our world is as it always has been, beauty and chaos, strife and kindness, injustice and liberation. Make a clearing in the dense forest of your life to be reminded of your deepest commitments, your strongest connections, those things that bring you back to your best self. Take this hour to focus on what is life-giving, on what is hope-giving, on the song that is your life. Come, let us worship together. And we start worshiping together with our opening hymn, which is a New Year's hymn, number 58, and it's Ring Out Wild Bells. And I realized that we don't have slides today, so we're going to have to go grab hymnals. So we're going to listen to Severin listen to Severin play for a second while we grab hymnals. We have volunteers helping us with tech this morning, so we're a little bit trying our hardest. Thank you, guys.
This is on page 58. In the gray hymnal.
So it's 58 in the gray hymnal. You have a teal one, which is not what you want. And then there's a bigger gray one, which is coming around. Thank you, Severin. Again, I apologize. We don't have our usual tech this morning.
Here we go. Number 58. Ring out wild bells to the wild, wild sky. The flying cloud,
And let's stand.
frosty light. The year is dying in the night. Ring out wild bells and let it die. Let's do that first verse again. Ring out wild bells to the wild, wild sky. The flying cloud, the frosty light. The year is dying in the night. Ring out wild bells and let it die. Ring out the old, ring in the new. Ring happy bells across the snow. The year is going, let it go. Ring out the false in the true. Ring out the grief that saps the mind. For those who hear we see no more. Ring out the feud of rich and poor. Ring in redress to humankind. Ring out false pride in place and blood. The civic slander and the spite. Ring in the love of truth and right. Ring in the common Please be
Now it's
seated.
time for Jewel and the story of all ages.
Good morning. Oh, Happy New Year, you guys. I'd like to invite all of our children down to the front. Hi, Cash. We haven't seen Cash for a while. Welcome. What? What's that funny look? Hi, Joyness. Come on. I saw Hollyana here somewhere. Did Hollyana escape? She's hiding. Okay. Hi, Alex. Hi, Lily. Hi, Kai. Oh. Well, Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome back. So, who knows what a threshold is? What?
It's like the door, and like how you when you enter, like somewhere is like a door frame-ish area.
Yeah, where you step across.
Yeah.
So do you know what that means? So like, do you see the door right there? Okay. So if you cross the threshold, then you're outside. And if you cross the threshold coming this way, then you're inside. So a threshold takes you from one place to another. So when you're about to start something new, that's also called a threshold. So a threshold is a point of transition, okay? So pick a door and imagine when you cross the threshold, what's on the other side of the door? Which door do you like? Okay, what can you imagine is behind that door? Is it? Thanks, Cash. Okay. Okay, what can you imagine is behind that door? You have good imagination. Water. Okay. All right. So who knows the book The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe? Alex. Can you tell us how Lucy discovers Narnia?
She's playing hide and seek with her siblings because they have to go with like, I don't know, their uncle or whatever because of World War II, right? And then
Wow, details. Go ahead.
And so she's playing hide and seek, and while playing hide and seek, she finds a wardrobe, and she's like, "Oh, this will be a good place to hide," and then it just never stops, and then it's Narnia, and then that's how that happens.
Yeah. Okay. So when she opens up the door to the big wardrobe, she first looks and goes in, and it looks just like any other closet, hanging clothes. But then as she's hiding, like Alex told us, she discovers a door in the back of the wardrobe. And suddenly she's in a whole other world, a fantastic magical world with witches and fauns and talking animals and a bunch of Christian symbolism if you're looking for it. So we're going to learn about Christianity today, so you'll understand later. Okay. So wouldn't it be cool if there were a magical world behind every door? When Lucy opened the door to the wardrobe, it didn't look like anything special. It was just a boring door full of clothes and coats. But across its secret threshold was magic. So Lucy stepped into Narnia, and it took her a while to figure it out and for the story to unfold. What's up?
I have a closet that also has a door, but it just takes me to my aunt's room.
Very cool. Yeah. Okay. So what Lucy experienced is for your story to take a while to unfold. That's true for all of us. So the thresholds we cross in our lives are like that. Sometimes we don't know that we're crossing into another world until we're already halfway there. Like the door of the church, it takes us down a pathway of new ideas, and it might help us grow in ways we might have never expected. The door to a doctor's office, it might open up new understanding about our bodies and how they work. A restaurant door might open up to people on a first date or people inside making new memories with their family and their friends. The door to a library, a gym, a dance studio, it introduces somebody to their passions in their life. And sometimes a door might close behind us and leave us behind feeling out in the world, heartbroken or sad. So we cross lots of thresholds every day in our lives. I don't know what happened. Okay, so close your eyes for a moment. Okay, close your outer eye and see with your inner eye your door of your house. So your door of your house is a great threshold. Every day we open the same old door, no matter how familiar the world is inside and how much it feels the same. Our lives are still constantly changing. Huh? I'm good, okay.
You go. Try this.
Each day, when we go outside of our door, we step out into a world that is new every single time. The poet Maya Angelou, who I talk about a lot because she's my favorite, she once said, "This is a wonderful day. I've never seen this one before." So let's cross that threshold to discover what's new as the church sings us out. Okay.
Go now in peace. Go now in peace. Go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
Now it's time for the centering hymn, number 1031 in the little teal hymnals.
See at the bottom of the page it says, second time we'll say you, and the third time we'll say we. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be whole. Now may you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be whole. Now may we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be whole.
Thank you, Sarah, and I feel blessed. Now it's time for our candles of joys and sorrows. We take this moment to reflect on our joys and sorrows and acknowledge the mutual support of our community. If you would like, you may come forward and light a candle in silence or with a brief verbal expression of a special joy or sorrow. Please come on down. Chloe will give you a candle and a microphone.
Hi, my name is Lisa Seitz. I've been gone a lot, and I'm just really, really, really thankful to be back in better health and hoping to join choir again, and just thrilled to be here. The other thing is tomorrow is the anniversary of Perry's death, and I would have you just remember him as an amazing, wonderful, kind person that I hope that you know him through me. Thanks.
I was just going to say that this month is a little bit hard, but also their anniversary is on the 21st of this month. So that's really special. And I just, my name's Chelsea Seitz, and I just pray for my cousin and her baby, and so that they get out of this horrible relationship that they're in.
I have a joy and a sorrow. My first joy is that my daughter Carolyn is here for the winter. My sorrow is that my ex-husband Mike passed away on the 2nd, but my joy is that his last 2 months were in hospice and he passed peacefully. Couldn't have been a better way to go. But if you'll all just wish him on his way with peaceful thoughts. Thank you.
We got to host my wife's family, my sister and her boyfriend, and all of our closest friends, some of whom just moved back from Northern California for New Year's, and I just felt so blessed to have felt like, in touch with so many folks that we haven't been as close with this last year, and to having a community here as well to just feel at home with.
And Chloe will light one more candle for those unspoken joys and sorrows. May we remember those who have spoken, those who have named, and those we hold in silence in our hearts.
Every time we join together in worship, we are reminded of the value of our community. Our moments together are special. Our coming together is special. Even sitting in silence and in prayer together is special. I invite you to remember the value of this moment together, to enter into a time of prayer and contemplation together. You may close your eyes if you wish. And maybe take a deep breath with me, breathing in and out. And we pray. Spirit of life, we sit with many things on our mind. Some of us searching for answers or direction, or even truth. Some of us searching for the warmth of community and the knowledge that we matter. Spirit of love, bring our attention to those who are suffering, those in our midst who suffer from chronic illness, cancer, pain, anxiety. Bring our awareness to those who grieve, both losses that are current and overwhelming, and losses from long ago. Bring our attention and bring our love to all who feel alone and lost. Spirit of abundance, bring our love and hope to our suffering world, to those working for justice and fighting for the lives of the oppressed, to those confronting hate and creating change, especially in our communities, to those fighting to save our planet and working for future generations. Spirit of joy, fill our hearts with love and let us witness times of celebration in ourselves and in our community. New jobs and new loves, rediscovered hobbies and ideas that excite us, moments of connection and laughter, good dinners with friends. Fill our hearts with love even as we experience small moments of noticing. The flicker of light on the grass that's green right now outside. Snippets of conversation between strangers at the grocery store. The sound of a pet or a person slowly walking around the house. Spirit of all that is holy in this world, hold everyone gathered here today, knowing we are loved, we are held, we are seen. May all be blessed. Amen. We'll take a moment of silence before we listen to Severin play our meditative response. We have two readings this morning, and the first one comes from the poet Rainer Maria Rilke and his letters to a young poet, and he writes, "You are so young, so before all beginning, and I want to beg you as much as I can, dear sir, to be patient towards all that is unsolved in your heart, and try to love the questions themselves, like locked rooms, like books that are written in a very foreign tongue. Do not seek the answers, which cannot be given because you are not able to live them. And the point is to live everything. Live the questions now. Perhaps you will then gradually, without noticing it, live along some distant day into the answer. Perhaps you do carry within you the possibility of shaping and forming as a particularly happy and pure way of living. Train yourself to it, but take whatever comes with great trust, and if only it comes out of your own will, out of some need of your inmost being, take it upon yourself and hate nothing. And our second reading comes from Suzuki Roshi's collection of talks called Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind. In the beginner's mind, there is no thought, I have attained something. All self-centered thoughts limit our vast mind. When we have not thought of achievement, not thought of self, we are true beginners. Then we can really learn something. The beginner's mind is the mind of compassion. When our mind is compassionate, it is boundless. Dogen Zenji, the founder of our school, always emphasized how important it is to resume our boundless original mind. Then we can always turn to ourselves in sympathy with all beings and can actually practice. He goes on, so the most difficult thing is always to keep your beginner's mind. There is no need to have a deep understanding of Zen. Even though you read much Zen literature, perhaps, you must read each sentence with a fresh mind. You should not say, I know what Zen is, or I have attained enlightenment. This is also the secret of the arts. Always be a beginner. Be very careful about this point. If you start to practice Zazen, you will begin to appreciate your beginner's mind. It is the secret of Zen practice. Love the questions. Always be a beginner. Shunrun Suzuki, or Suzuki Roshi, one of the founders of Zen Buddhist practice here in America, famously says in his collection of talks, Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind, in the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities, but in the experts, there are few. Beginner's mind, a place of many questions and perhaps few preconceived notions. In the Buddhist conception, this is probably non-attachment, the idea that attachment or clinging to material and emotional things can create suffering. The beginner's mind is less attached to the way things are or always have been, or the way things should be. There's an openness to possibilities and to understanding, an openness to the questions, to the new. A while back, I had a new housemate, and he came into our house one night really upset, seemingly pretty upset, and stated that he couldn't believe the homelessness he saw all around him in Boston. He had recently been doing development work in Western Africa, and I was flummoxed or bewildered by his upset. Didn't he know that homelessness was normal here? He was a white guy from an East Coast city. This couldn't be new to him. I remember thinking he must be a little bit ignorant or too idealistic. He was a smart guy, though. And more I considered it, I realized that he was applying a kind of beginner's mind to the situation. It should have perplexed us and upset us that a wealthy city such as Boston had such homelessness, and that the poorer countries he had been in the last couple of years took better care to house people than we did in America. My roommate that year, he took to carrying snack bars with him every time he left the house. He wanted to feel like he had something to offer any time a person experiencing homelessness asked him for help. So he carried those snack bars with him and gave them out whenever somebody asked him for food or something else. It was amazing how he, the new kid in town, seemed to embrace a stance of compassion and curiosity as the rest of us sat comfortably in the way things were. We were the experts, not seeing the possibilities. Beginner's mind can also be thought of as having the mind of a child. Research shows that children are much more observant of their surroundings, noticing subtle changes in ways that adults tend to overlook. Our minds, adults, have learned to interpret and predict the world in a certain way. We expect things to act and look as things have looked and acted in the past. Children don't always know these patterns, so they're much more observant or apt to notice what an adult may not. Elizabeth Lesser describes overhearing her oldest son, then 6, speaking with his best friend. She says, "They were in the bathtub together, the only place I knew to put the two of them after a sad and trying day. This was the day that my best friend, whose little boy was now in the bath, had finally given in to a long battle with cancer and died." "Where is Mom? Where is your mom?" I heard my son ask his friend. "She's dead." I know, but where is she?" "I don't know. I'm going to ask my dad tomorrow," his friend replied. Can you imagine an adult asking that question? I've sat in many hospital rooms and counseled folks experiencing grief, and I've never gotten that question. Where is she? As adults, we probably don't even think to ask it, comfortable in whatever belief we may already have, unwilling to ask a hard or unknown question. Adults, though, we can learn new things. Although children may be better at it, we can learn something new or even be a beginner again at something. It can be good for our brains to start something new, to learn new information or a new skill, to ask new questions. Recently, I've taken up square dancing, a coordinated dance with those around me to create patterns under the guidance of a caller. And although I've done other types of dancing before, the sort of real-time puzzles involved in this kind of dancing pushes my brain in new directions, and almost every week I face a new challenge. I find it almost meditative to figure it out, at least when I'm not tripping over my feet a bit. Where are you, beloveds, a beginner? What are you learning? Perhaps what questions like a child, might you be asking? As a minister, I have a collection of mentors and even a mentee. Some of these relationships are formal, fulfilling requirements for our Unitarian Universalist Association's fellowshipping process, the so-called tenure structure in ministry. And there are others that I have that are less formal, folks I know to call when things feel difficult. I appreciate having folks who are both younger and older than me offering up words of learning and advice. Ministry, much like life, is constantly learning. It's a constant learning process. My mentors differ. Some are more direct and authoritative, and others lean more towards open-ended questions and statements. One of my mentors recently said, if you can't have love and compassion for something, at least have curiosity for it. And I've been carrying this around with me for the last couple of months, and I want to say it again in another way to make sure it sticks. If you can't love someone or something, can you have compassion for them? If you can't have compassion, can you at least have curiosity about them? So if you can't love them or have compassion, can you at least have curiosity? Curiosity can lead to compassion. Compassion can lead to love. Curiosity for me is a way of embracing a beginner's mind, perhaps being a bit more childlike. Curious to say, why are things like this? Why might you be like this? Why might you be doing that? Perhaps somewhat like my former roommate who asked innocently, why are there unhoused people in America? As a part of the interim process, the process that we're in as a congregation, one of the most important tools we have is the ability to ask good questions, to be curious. Why do we do what we do? How does that help us or hurt us? What might we like to do instead? Who do we wish we were? It's a chance to ask questions that can grow this church towards more compassion and openness, perhaps even prepare us to embrace more difference among us. In the search process at different churches, I've heard folks talk about wanting an experienced minister. Some churches are not quick to hand ministry to younger people, perhaps folks who look like me or even younger. Or even second career ministers, sometimes wondering what a former preschool teacher or therapist might know about being a minister. I can tell you both of those things are good skills for ministry, both preschool teachers and therapists. All I can say is sometimes, though, the beginner's mind is a powerful tool in ministry. You never know what might be this church's best fit for their next minister. Perhaps it is someone who doesn't think in the normal, this is how church should be, patterns. Someone with a bit of a beginner's mind. I do know, though, that it can be easy to fall into the trap of an expert's mind. And I'll admit, I get stuck there sometimes. I've seen how other churches work, and I understand systems. So it's an easy place to get stuck. In the field of emergency medical services, the opposite of the beginner's mind is called the 4-year medic, so the 4-year paramedic. And it's a bit of a joke, though poignant, that if you've been doing something long enough, you might get overconfident and make assumptions. In the world of EMS, this may be skipping steps in a procedure or too quickly guessing at somebody's prognosis. The four-year medic phenomenon plays out in other places in our lives too, and in other professions, especially as adults. We've had experiences in this world that cause us to have beliefs. We have learned to interpret the world a certain way. Sometimes we apply that information a bit too widely and don't take the time to see what's right in front of us. The Zen Peacemakers is a network of socially engaged Buddhists, and they have 3 tenets. And perhaps you could even call them steps, because that's sort of how I look at them. The first one is not knowing. The second one is bearing witness. And the third is taking action. And I especially like the first 2, not knowing and bearing witness. It's approaching the world with a kind of I don't know attitude or beginner's mind. And it's not a defiant I don't know, but a curious I don't know. A letting go of fixed ideas and instead entering into a situation with an open mind and heart to what might be. What if we all took some time to not know rather than jumping to a solution? Allowing ourselves to absorb information before jumping to conclusions. The second goes hand in hand with the first. Bear witness. This is an important part of ministry and life. Once we have approached things with openness, can we then bear witness to what is happening? Can we see the uniqueness in the situation? Can we see what is actually happening here rather than what we guess or think might be happening? The last, after taking time to let go of fixed ideas, the sort of I don't know, and to bear witness with an open heart, is to take action. It's almost acting in a way that feels more grounded or open than before. We have to take time to understand before diving in to solve something. Imagine if you did that when a friend asks you for advice. First thinking, I don't know. Let me bear witness with curiosity, maybe even with some deep listening, and then eventually take action or give advice. It's a way of pausing or acting with intention. How do we cultivate beginner's mind? It may be a meditation practice, learning to pause before embarking on a quest to solve a problem. It may also be learning something new, experiencing what it's like to not know something and going through the process of being a beginner again. Or it may be approaching the world or situation with curiosity, asking questions, taking an I don't know attitude, open to whatever answers may emerge. Beloveds, in this new year, where might you be a beginner, intentional or not? Where might you bring time for pause and curiosity, perhaps listening and bearing witness before you act? May we cultivate curiosity and love, and a love of continued learning for this new year. May we love the questions and always be a beginner. Blessed be.
Now it's time for the offertory. So our lovely people in back will be coming around with beautiful baskets that will eventually be full of huge bills and denominations. The other day I asked one of our new families how their daughter was fitting in her new school. They said she was doing fine and making new friends. One day, the little girl was happily getting to know one of her friends when the playmate says, "We're Episcopalians. What are you?" The UU child thinks for a minute and says, "I'm not sure, but I think we're League of Women Voters." So give generously. We need money just like the League does. Thank you, Severin. Now it's time for our affirmation of gratitude, which we'll project. Oh, no, we're not going to project it up there. Which is written out in the order. No, it's not in the order. This is a test, people. You have to remember the affirmation of gratitude. So let's see how you do. Let us be grateful when we are able to give, for many do not have that privilege. Let us be grateful for all those who share their gifts, for we are enriched by their giving. And let us also be grateful for our needs, so that we may experience the generosity of others. And now the closing hymn, number 1024, will be in your little books, When the Spirit Says Do.
Here we go. You gotta do when the Spirit says do. You gotta do when the Spirit says do. When the Spirit says do, you gotta do. Oh Lord, you gotta do when the Spirit says do. 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 gotta sing, yeah. Sing when the Spirit says sing. You gotta sing when the Spirit says sing. When the Spirit says sing, you gotta sing, oh Lord. You gotta sing when the Spirit says sing. 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 You gotta dance when the Spirit says dance. You gotta dance when the Spirit says dance. When the Spirit says dance, you gotta dance, oh Lord. You gotta dance when the Spirit says dance. 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 Let's do one more. Shout. You gotta shout when the Spirit says shout. You gotta shout when the Spirit says shout. When the Spirit says shout, you gotta shout, oh Lord. You gotta shout when the Spirit says shout. 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 When the Spirit says shout.
This church is dedicated to the proposition that behind all of our differences, beneath all of our diversity, there is a unity that makes us one and binds us forever together, in spite of time and death and the space between the stars. We pause in silent witness to that unity.
May the blessings of love be upon you. May love's peace abide with you. May love's presence illuminate your hearts, now and forevermore. So be it. Amen. Shalom. Salam. Namaste. And blessed be. And now may our service truly begins.
do 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 do.